Welcome to True Crime Podcast. Today we will be talking about Brittany Woods. She is a local crime. This happened back in 2012. She still has not been found. The date, she went missing on May 30th, 2012, around 7:30 at night. She left her mom's house, and I guess her mom Jessie, said that, she saw her all the way up until she couldn't see her anymore past the fence. And she was supposed to go to her friend's house, but instead she rode off with her Uncle Donny. And that family had like a big old child sex ring thing going on. 11 family members got arrested for it. And I mean, to me, like, I really felt bad for Brittany because I do know a lot of things that happened to her. She disappeared at 19 years old. And so what happened was that, so when Brittany left the house, she left with her gun, she left with a bag, and she left with her phone. And you see, the thing is, like, when her mom first got interviewed, her mom said she was in a good mood and all this other stuff before she left the house. But then when they did the docuseries, which we watched,
Monsters in the Shadow.
Yeah, and she said that she was in a aggravated mood. And that she told her, like, she doesn't understand, and she walked away. Now, the thing about Brittany is she became a mom at 17, which, I mean, I know being a mom and being young, it's very hard. I was a mom at 15. But Brittany also faced bigger problems. I mean, bigger challenges in her life.
She's being molested, most of all.
Yeah, well, I mean, just Brittany being young, she actually was, if I'm not mistaken, she was she was molested by her maternal grandmother's boyfriend, who actually went to prison for this. This poor little girl, Brittany, should not have experienced being molested by her maternal grandmother's boyfriend. Her grandmother, she should have been protected at a young age. And I mean, it makes me feel bad because her daughter will never see her mom again. Brittany has not, to this day, has not been. They actually don't even have her dead. But it didn't stop there. But anyway, it didn't stop there. Eventually, a full-blown child trafficking ring within her own family would be uncovered in a subsequent investigation. Which they arrested 11 of her family members with this child sex ring.
Right.
And even close friends of the family. That's even crazier. They were facing sex abuse allegations too in the Mobile Bay area.
Between Mobile and Baldwin County.
Yeah. The assistant DA, Nikki Patterson, which I read, she said that Brittany did not escape the fate of being on drugs, because apparently, I guess, because they think that if you were molested or whatever, something traumatic happened at an early age, you're going to turn to drugs. That's not always true, but Brittany didn't escape that fate, is what they say.
They suspect that she was using narcotics.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was ever proven.
I don't think it was ever proven because I don't see Brittany doing something like that because
we don't know for certain, but like I said, I mean, it was never proven.
Yeah. It's just something that the assistant DA has. But as a child, Brittany was surrounded by relatives in like a large extended family. Like, I'm talking about a big family.
Sometimes it's good to have family, but in this case,
no.
This family is not a good family.
And as a teen, she was considered free spirit, which I understand that because I was a teen, I was free spirited, pretty much I did the wild child thing. But despite the situation, she was both loved and loving. She loved people and she also was loved. And to this day, she still is. Her mom, Jessie, that's her oldest daughter. Brittany was her oldest daughter, and she still advocates on her daughter on trying to find her daughter. They had a special relationship, they were very close. Her mother will always continue, I guess, to the day that she dies. She's going to continue to look for her daughter.
They're not going to find her, I don't believe.
Mm-mm.
No, I believe she's dead and buried somewhere.
Yeah. And the thing is like, okay, so she has a father, which she was close to too, Wally Hanks, Wally Hanks, and her stepmom, Stephanie Hanks. And, they help take care of Brittany's daughter and stuff like that, But the day that she went missing, not much is known about her activities before she went missing.
She made some phone calls, some
Yeah.
messages to a friend.
Yeah.
That evening, but it just went.
Yeah, it just went blank silent. They pinged her. The last time they pinged her was in Grand Bay. And that was like 2 days late. This is
cell phone.
Yeah, they pinged her cell phone. But this is like at 11:30 at night was when it stopped completely, and that's where they pinged her. And I do think that what happened was that and I do believe this, the uncle that that Uncle Donny that she was with, yeah, I think that they killed her, and they did what they did. And they took her phone to Grand Bay to make it look like, she wasn't over there near them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so it came in Grand Bay. But yet, pretty much, 2 days after, she got picked up by Donny, he was found in his car, shot in his head by Brittany's gun. Brittany had actually got a gun for protection. And so he was found shot. And even Brittany's mom, Chessie, and a bunch of other people don't believe that he shot himself, and neither do I.
She went missing. She went missing with her firearm.
Yes.
So.
Yes, but yet it was found in the vehicle with Donny. And I don't think Donny had actually shot himself. If you want my opinion.
It was Wendy or Mindy.
Yeah, it was the wife. The wife of Donny. I do think that did happen. I think she knew more, and she didn't want it to go out. She knew Donny was about to go talk to the DA over there, or the DA over there in Baldwin County, right, over the whole sex child ring thing. And so, and this is 30 minutes prior. I think that she had shot him, and to keep him hush hush, but somehow they found him.
They didn't call the police. They called a special investigator.
Yeah. But somehow they found Donny, and
Wendy or Mindy, I forget, because they were twins.
Yeah.
I forget which one he was married to, but instead of calling the cops, she called a special investigator to come out to his
where he was at,
his dead body was.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't dead yet. They actually took him to the hospital. They life flighted him to the hospital, and that's where he died, in the hospital.
It was a real sketchy situation.
Yeah. They actually, this is what kind of confused me, because Brittany has not been heard from, since the 30th, right? He died on the 1st. He died on the 1st. So the family tried to contact Brittany after the uncle died, and they couldn't get her. And so, to me, because he was found with, so when he was found with her gun and her cell phone back. But where was her cell phone? Where was the bag that she had? Why did he have her gun? You know? I mean, to me, they don't make no sense. And I mean, the friend that she was supposed to go to, the friend that she told her mom she was going to, she actually confirmed that Brittany did not go and visit her, that she instead went with her Uncle Donny and went to Styx River. That's where they lived at, over there near Styx River, Robertsdale, whatever. And I mean, honestly, if you want my opinion, I never actually, I don't think they even said if they even checked Styx River anyway to see if she was buried. You know, if they threw a body in Styx River, if they did, then you'll find her anyway. You know, there's currents in Styx River. But I mean, but Donnie Holland was supposed to meet with a Baldwin County investigator, Eric Winberg, to discuss the ongoing case, the ongoing sex abuse investigation around that family. I mean, this family's messed up.
Here's the thing. I knew several of the family members. I worked with a couple of them. What was his damn name? Dustin.
Yeah.
Dustin Kent, I hung out with. He's one of the ones that was convicted of sodomy and all of that.
Yeah, he even had kids around.
Yeah, my kids hung out with his kids. He was married to either Wendy or Mindy. I can't remember. Because Dustin was married to one of the twins, and I think Donnie was married to the other twin. Me and my ex-wife, we didn't know nothing about this shit going on. When me and my ex-wife were starting to get divorced, I took my dog to Dustin's house because I didn't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So I left my dog with him, not knowing that he's over here molesting kids, and then all of a sudden all this shit comes out about him and his wife.
Yeah, it was all over the
whole family.
It was all over the news.
Sodomy, molestation, child pornography, just everything. It just blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know who is like that because, I mean, you can be in a grocery store or you can be friends with somebody and not know that they're like that. I mean, because no offense, but my old tattoo guy. Yeah, he was caught. He was actually got in trouble for that too.
Never know about some people.
Yeah, you really
watch
don't.
your kid.
Yeah,
watch your kids.
Closely watch your kids. This is not a
even if they're in a relative. Watch your kids.
Yeah, they're not safe. No matter what, this is not a safe world, at all.
It hasn't been a safe world.
I mean, I really can't speak much because I don't want but I can honestly say there's family members that I don't trust.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? You always got your family members that you don't trust. But after, the family had received news about Donnie, this is what bogs me is why did they call Brittany? She's been missing since the 30th, right? Why they call Brittany or try to attempt to call Brittany to tell her about Donnie? Because Donnie was messing. I mean, Donnie, I'm pretty sure had messed with her. And did more than what I want to even imagine.
Pretty well proved that he had molested several of the kids in the family.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and
I think they pretty well proved that.
Yeah, and you see, the thing is that, like, why did she lie to her mom and say she was going to visit a friend but instead went with Donnie?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, maybe, because she had a gun on her, so I'm thinking, like, maybe she was going to, because I did read that, like, somebody did confide in her about being raped by a family member. And I do think that she was going to stop. I really do think that. I think that that's why she had the gun. She was going to put it, she was going to end it. She was, But, I mean, it's really sad because it's like, her daughter had to grow up without her mom. Chessie, her mother, I could not imagine not knowing where my daughter is. And, it would drive me up the wall not knowing where she's at, where she's buried at. Mm-hmm. They actually had a bunch of clues.
They've dug up a few spots.
Yeah, I mean, well, they reported her missing June 2nd. And so 12 years since, this is 12 years later. Well, since she went missing, they had like multiple tips and searches with, little results. Like they were
They dug up some of Dustin's property.
yeah,
See if she was buried.
yeah, I mean, and then, and then somebody told them, apparently somebody went off the face recognition, like when they're older. And for some reason, they went to a house in Grand Bay and searched that. And they had cadaver dogs. And the cadaver dogs actually sniffed something up, he actually sniffed whatever it was.
But it wasn't her. They didn't find her.
Yeah, they dug it up. They didn't find it. Now, I do know, and it is a joke that people say, but they're like, there's a way to get rid of a dead body. You dig 8 feet and you bury a dog 6 feet, and then therefore they ain't gonna look past that. Now, I do think that they should have dug a little bit further down, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I feel bad for Chessie because that's her mother, and she has to live every day with the thought of her daughter is never going to come back home. She's never going to hear her voice. She's never going to do anything. And I do know that Chessie is actually an advocate right now for missing people. She has helped people try to find missing people, ever since this has happened. And pretty much, they have not. It's weird how they have gone this long and they still have her as missing but not dead. Because they can't find a body. They have no proof. They have no way of saying she's dead. So all they can do is say she's missing. And I know it's hard for a mother not to be able to bury her child. And I know I have a thing that when somebody dies and they die a cruel way or any way like that, their soul doesn't really rest, until they're found. And I do believe that. I've always believed that. And, the police department, Mobile Police Department, they believe she's no longer alive. They know she's no longer alive. But because she's still in the database as missing, to date. She, everything she brought with her, phone, all, they never found it. They never found her phone, but they found the phone battery. Which don't make no sense why that happened. And
I don't know if it's listed as a cold case or just an open case.
I think it's a cold case. That's what I read last night, was cold case.
It's listed as a cold case.
But they still had it open. And not only that, but they did do a docuseries, but you can't find it anywhere. I tried.
It was on Peacock, but they took it off.
Yeah. It's called Monster in the Shadows. It was very good. I really kind of wish they wouldn't have took it off off of it because, people don't really remember Brittany Woods. If you're not from down here, you don't know who it, you don't know nothing about her, it's not like she was like a big, it's not like she was on all the big channels and stuff like that. It was local news.
No, not like that other girl up there in North Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but Brittany would have never left her child.
No.
I know this. I know mother to mother. Brittany would have never left her child. And so, from what I read, her child is with the babies, with her daddy and his grandmother. And I don't even, she'd be what, 14, 16 now?
I don't remember. how old she is.
I do know that when they interviewed her when she was 8 years old, she did say that she missed her mom, and that all she wants to do is hug her mom. And I mean, that's sad because a kid shouldn't go through that. Um, and I mean, I would go into this whole rabbit hole of her family, but it would take.
They charged and convicted a lot of family members. They had arrested Chessie, but they didn't convict her on anything related to this here. The biggest issue was that they arrested a lot of people in regards to this sex trafficking ring, but they only convicted about 10 or 11 people.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is I wonder how long that, like, how long did they let that go with the whole child sex ring thing? Like, I wonder how long that went.
They could have been investigating it for years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, like I said, I don't understand why Brittany went off with Donnie, because, Donnie actually had done bad things.
That's the life she already knew. So.
Yeah, you're right. But I do, like I said, I do think that Brittany was going to stop it. One way or another, she was going to try to stop it.
She might have been.
And I think that there might have been a struggle between her and Donnie, maybe. And Donnie, and then the gun went off and he shot her. But I don't think that Donnie killed himself.
No.
I mean, I hate to say that, but
no.
Donnie did not kill herself. It was the wife. She wanted to keep him shush. And that was the only way she could do it. I mean, he did not survive that gun wound, that gunshot to the head. He actually, though, was alive when they first found him, and then, of course, he died at the hospital.
Welcome to the Brunese and Marissa True Crime Podcast, hosted by the enigmatic duo. Are you ready to uncover the darkest mysteries lurking in the shadows?
From unsolved murders to chilling disappearances, we delve deep into the heart of darkness. But here's the twist, listeners. Unraveling these mysteries takes time and dedication. That's where you come in.
Consider supporting our podcast by donating to our Buy Me a Coffee Fund. Your contribution fuels our investigation and helps us shed light on the shadows. Join us on our journey into the unknown, and with your help and your donation, you can help the true crimes come to light with all of our episodes, and we can keep shedding the light into the darkness.
It's very sad because
this is a young girl with a whole life ahead of her.
And she had it rough from the get-go. She had it rough when she was little, and I know it wasn't her mother's fault, because it's like, you trust certain family members, and you don't think nothing about it. The thing is, I think what I read is that somebody had told Brittany's mom about what was going on in the family, and they were trying to get evidence. Huh?
Evidence?
Yeah, evidence of what was going on. Because I really do believe that Chessie had no idea about it, because, I'm pretty sure she did. She wouldn't let her daughter go off like that,
I'm damn sure would.
And I mean, like I said, I don't understand why Brittany lied to her mom and told her mom, hey, I'm going to go see a friend, but never did. She said she went off with him. And so that's what I'm saying. I think that Brittany was going to put a stop to it, but I think that something happened in between, and nobody's ever going to find out what that was. Because Brittany just was never found. It's kind of like she just went, like thin air. They can't find her anywhere, But all the technology they have nowadays, you would think they would find her.
It's easy to disappear in Alabama.
I know, right? It really is. And she was from Tillman's Corner, so, and pretty much Tillman's Corner is, you go missing there, you ain't gonna come back, But I mean, she was a very beautiful young lady. She, I think she had, when I read she had tattoos and she had a lip ring and stuff like that. And she was sweet. From what I was told, she was very sweet, and I mean, I didn't know her personally, but I knew people that knew her personally. Like, younger people that, like, I think my ex-daughter-in-law knew her.
But I knew some of her family.
Yeah, you hung out with her. And I mean, to me, like, I think they need to search in bigger areas, like where she was last seen, and not last seen, but in Six River.
They're not gonna find her.
Yeah, I know they're not gonna find her. It's been over, 12 years? About 12 years?
In 2012. No,
Yeah, it's 12 years.
10 years. Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years. They ain't gonna find her. And I mean, it makes my heart break for Brittany's mom, for real, because, like I said, she's an advocate for missing people. I've actually spoke to her, and when I spoke to her, she was actually helping find this one boy. I believe they found him. He committed suicide on Bellingraph. Whenever I had emailed her, she was looking for him, and then I know that whenever I talked to her, Brittany's death was coming up. The anniversary of her missing was coming up. And I mean, to me, they ought to make her, they ought to change it to where she, instead of missing, she's dead. Even without the body, they need to just go ahead and say she's dead. 12 years. Brittany didn't run away, Brittany wouldn't have never left her daughter. She was a very good mom, from what I could tell. She was a very, very good mom. And I mean, like I said, having a baby at a young age is very hard. I know. I was a mother, and we had a lot of things go on in our family, on one side of the family. And so therefore I kept my kids, by my side all the time. Like, I didn't get around certain people in the families, one side and then, the other side. And, but I've never, like, whenever we watched the docuseries on Britney, it blew my mind, because I was like, how can somebody go missing like that, and yet nobody is. I know somebody sitting in jail, her family members that are sitting in jail know where she's at.
They ain't gonna think.
Okay, why don't they tell Chessie where her daughter is at, so she can rest, so she can bury her daughter.
That would be an admission of guilt.
Yes, but somebody needs to, because I'm pretty sure Donnie was about to. You don't think he was?
I don't know.
Because
I'm just saying that would be an admission of guilt, and ain't nobody gonna do that.
well, no, of course not. They shot Donnie in the head. They shot him in the head, and but I ain't the only one who thinks that he was murdered. Okay, Chessie thinks so too. I did read that. So does a lot of the of other family members. They do believe that he got murdered. Too. He didn't just pull the gun. And it's because of where the gun was, I guess, where the gunshot was.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no way he done that.
Hmm.
And not only that, but he had Brittany's gun. Not, what were you doing with Brittany's gun then? She had it the night she left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it raises the question, where's her phone? Where's the bag that she carried? Because apparently she had a bag. It was a tote. I'm not sure it was pink or teal. I don't remember. They said it was pink or teal, so I just said tote. Because honestly, I don't know. I wasn't there. I mean, I can only imagine what her mom, every day her mom has that that thought, when she walks outside, like the last time I saw my daughter, she walked around that corner and I never saw her again, she thought she's going, she's going to come right back, and she's just going to visit a friend, and to me, Brittany should have told her mom the truth, because Chessie, I'm pretty sure, would have done something, and But because of all this that happened, and I remember watching the news and seeing all these people up there, and I'm like, that poor girl, she ain't living no more. You know, there was just too much. They had messed with so many children, so many. And I don't even know, I don't even remember what they gave them in jail. Like, I can't remember how long they gave them, you know, and stuff like that. I think I know they're still sitting in there. But I do think that somebody one day needs to speak up and tell where she's at, so they can stop looking. So her mama can bury her, and her daughter can bury her, and that'd be a chapter, you know, that can be closed. Because until she's found, they're not going to rest. Her mama is not going to rest. Her poor daughter, I know she's like teenager right now. She was a baby when all this was happening, you know, so I mean, to me it's sad because, you know, any little girl wants her mom. And she doesn't have her mama anymore, you know, and, you know, so it's like she grew up with, you know, her mom and not being able to tell her, you know, her mom and not being able to enjoy watching her daughter grow up. All because this family had some messed up child sex thing and they're all messed up in the head. I don't know. I'm not talking about Chelsea. Trust me. I'm talking about the rest of them. You know, like the Baldwin County ones, you know. They were all messed up. And I mean, like her mom, I mean, you know, I try to get an interview with her mom, but her mom is just so busy and stuff like that. And so I was just like, you know, I might as well just go ahead and get this done, you know, even though her mom couldn't do the interview. You know, because, you know, like I said, she advocates for a lot of missing people. And then she has family problems, you know, family things going on. And I understand that, you know, and, you know, like the reason, I mean, like I said, my husband over here, he hung out with that family. Little did he know, he did not know that they were, you know, that they were that way, you know. If he did, I can tell you straight up, my husband would not have let his kids go over there, or him. You know, I mean, that was like no.
No.
And thankfully, they didn't mess with the kids, you know, like they didn't mess with our kids.
In ways.
Huh?
I have my eyes on them all the time anyways.
Well, I mean, you know, we kind of know, keep our eye on the kids. I did that with my kids because of what happened with me. I kept my eye on them, you know, to make sure, you know, like they didn't have the same thing happen to them as what happened to other people, you know, to everything else. But the thing is that Donnie's death was ruled as a suicide. And that's kind of funny how it's a suicide, but yet he was shot in a way where somebody had killed him. And so, I mean, I think even in the docuseries, didn't they say something about Wendy or whoever it was had something to do with it? And you know, and people, from what I read, you know, like people are like, you know, they don't believe Chelsea or, you know, and all this other stuff, you know, and people don't realize when you're a mother, your first thing is you're wanting to find your child. And you go all these years without not hearing from your child, not anything. You know, you go all these years. And then you find out, well, hey, you know, the whole family's got a sex ring going. You know, Brittany, you know, should have never been hurt by her maternal grandmother's boyfriend. I'm glad he did go to prison for that because, you know, a lot of them actually get off, you know. A lot of people get off and don't go to jail for doing most of the stuff that they do. And so, I mean, you know, the thing is the gun she got for protection before she obtained it right before that for protection. So Brittany knew that, you know, I seriously think that Brittany, like I said, was going to do something, and it went in the opposite. It just totally went opposite, you know, like, because, like I said, somebody confided in her that she was raped by Donny, and so Brittany knew all this, you know, and I think Brittany just wanted it to stop, you know, because she's got a daughter herself, you know. She had to, I mean, I'm so glad that her daughter got away from that family. I really am. I mean, I ain't meaning Chessie. I mean, in, you know, that family in general. You know, she didn't get hurt, you know, and she's with her daddy and stuff like that. And I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Chessie, you know, I really don't. And I don't care what anybody says, you know, a mother's love has no bounds. And when your child goes missing and you don't hear from them, it's the worst pain in the world because look at me. I mean, my daughter don't even, one of my daughters will talk to me and it breaks my heart all the time, you know, and, you know, it sucks, you know. But I still don't understand why they, you know, they tried to call her after Donny killed himself, you know. I don't understand why they try to tell her what was going on, you know, because it's like, you know, he was doing all this stuff, so why you want her to know about Donny? She's already gone. You know, Donny knew what was going on. Donny knew what happened, and so did the rest of them. That whole family's just, they ain't opening up their mouth. That's the problem. Somebody knows in that family who did it. You know, they know what happened to Brittany's body. They know what happened to Brittany in general. And I really do think that that either the guilt's gonna kick in eventually, I hope. If not, then they're evil. Very, very evil. Because I'm sorry, but if you got a soul, you're gonna tell somebody, you know, it's gonna eat at you until, you know, until you have to say something to, you know, to get it, you know. And no, these people stay quiet for 12 damn years.
They ain't gonna say nothing.
And yeah, I know. And I mean, the case is still open. I mean, it's a cold case, but it's still open. They still get tips in. Mobile Police Department still getting the tips in. You know, they still, you know, it's like a wild goose chase. They have to go to they have to go to the tip part, and then they don't pick, you know, then they come out, and it's sad because I know that Brittany's mom I know she was hoping that they would have found her in Grand Bay, even dead. They would have found her in Grand Bay, and they did. And, I mean, you know, like I said, you know, like, he had her cell phone back. What was he doing with that? Unless Wendy or whatever her name is had put that in the vehicle to make it look like Donny, you know, knew everything that was going on. You know, like, Donny did this, you know, but then it makes me think, okay, well, you know, Donny had to have known something, you know, because he picked her up, you know, the night she went missing, he picked her up. He took her across the bay. And the thing is I know that her phone pinged in different spots, and mainly in Grand Bay. And like I said, I think the reason why it pinged in Grand Bay was because they took the phone to Grand Bay and had to ping one last time to make her mama think she ain't over there in Baldwin County, you know, whatever, and that she's with her friend or whatever. And then once it pinged and it dropped, that's where they took the battery. And they either threw the phone out in the water, they buried the phone, I'm not sure. It's weird how they have not found the tote that she had. You know, like, what happened to that? I guess they could have burned it, you know, or whatever. They could have hid evidence. I mean, I've seen that happen. You know, we watch enough true, you know, crime stories to know that, you know, people go through the most dumbest things yeah, I mean, but I mean, honestly, I pray that one day Brittany will be found, and that her mama will be able to rest. And I can say that, her mama does, will always advocate for people that are missing, including her daughter. But anyway, so I hope y'all enjoyed this true crime podcast on Brittany Woods. I really do wish I could have gotten details about her, but I did all I could, because it's just me doing this, I'm homeworking and stuff. But hopefully one day Brittany will be found, and then the next time hopefully I'll be able to do a story saying, she's been found, and and stuff like that, and pray that her mother gets the peace that she deserves, and her daughter. But this is it for the True Crime Podcast. We will be back next week. And it will be, another good story, of course, we come up with the good ones. But thank you for listening to this podcast, and, we hope, y'all keep listening. Bye, y'all.